Kuncoro is an employee in a PT di Sudut Kota. He has been working at the factory for 3 years. The beginning of work, Kuncoro's activities as usual, and the workplace also looks safe and nothing is strange. But odd events began to appear in the 3rd year Kuncoro worked. At that time, Kuncoro just returned to the factory after being assigned by the boss in the project to complete the finishing in the field. One time at work, the first week, Kuncoro did not feel anything. But in the 2nd week, his heart had begun to fret. Many rumors, many employees see the appearance of a creature of creatures terrible. Even they also often experience nightmares. Likewise with Kuncoro, who once dreamed of visiting a big tall creature, was about to take him away, but Kuncoro could be released and escape, and he woke up from his sleep. Which was a week before. A supervisor in the factory was dead and died unnaturally. The supervisor, who was resting lunch when he was about to take a drink not far from where he was sitting, suddenly the escalator was operating overturned and befell the supervisor to death. Many rumors say that the supervisor was deliberately used as a sacrifice. Even the condition of his body when bathed looked scorched as if burning. Even though he heard so scary rumors at his place of work, Kuncoro still ignored it. Even though the nightmare was still ongoing to this day, and his dreams were always the same every night. According to the chatting of employees who gossiped while drinking coffee, many of them just laughed laughing because they thought it was not the one who would be the target of factory sacrifice, but naughty employees who were corrupt or who sold factory information to other companies, and finally arrived in the 3rd week. Kuncoro had a bad dream again. This time he saw the figure of a woman in white long hair was staring at him sharply. The scary figure stuck out his tongue towards Kuncoro. And Kuncoropun woke up from his sleep with fear day after day, lived like ordinary working days. There was no odd event that had befallen him until this moment. Until the news of the death of the employee Ordinary spread again. The employee died, who was accidentally buried by cement that was being ground by a grinding machine. And on the 6th week, Kuncoro dreamed again. In his dream, he experienced where he felt the world would end. He ran to and fro while being shown the condition of the world was in ruins, as if the end of Kuncoro was really scared. Finally, where was the overtime for Kuncoro and some of his friends? The days were lived as usual, but today felt different. Did not know why. Suddenly his chest hurt after he woke up from sleep. Today, Kuncoro can get overtime, but don't know why Paknarto, who is the foreman, suddenly told Kuncoro to go home. Mr. Foreman Narto firmly told all his men to go home that same day. Before Maghrib reverberates, all employees must have been out of the project area. Employees, including Kuncoro, just follow the foreman's words. However, in the middle of the journey home, suddenly above the toll gate, clearly visible, the figure of a scary woman in white, which she met in a dream yesterday, was above the gate. But in a moment too, the figure immediately disappeared, and the next day. The shocking news spread to shock the project employees. The frame building, which was in the process of building the project, collapsed flat to the ground because the peg was suddenly destroyed. But fortunately, none of the victims died at the scene, because all employees had returned at the time of the incident. And a few days later, news came that Mr. Narto's foreman was fired by the boss, without a clear reason. Until came a new foreman assigned as a supervisor for the project that Kuncoro was working on. A few days passed. There was no odd event that happened, and a nightmare that used to come now rarely appeared. Until some time passed, suddenly the direct task of the boss, the project employees had to stay in the project area and made meals for them, including Kuncoro. Inside, the mess provided enough food and drink. There are even additional commissions for coffee and snack money, also provided TV for them. Employees look happy with the facilities. Until a week later, news spread on television that the construction of the project collapsed again. Some employees became victims of death, but the body had not been found because it was buried in ruins and the dried cement stir.